Hey golfers, Troy Klongerbo here with US Golf TV, and today we're going to do a golf club review of the iRT-5 Hybrid. Now if you guys watch the Golf Channel at all, you'll see the commercials of this brand new hybrid coming up pretty much in between every single segment. And it's talking about a brand new hybrid with what they call Machete Rails on the bottom. And that's the key kind of focus of this new club, these Machete Rails. And I'll dive into that. I'll dive in more into the technology here in a bit, but I kind of want to just start with the general appeal, general aesthetic, and general look of this golf club. So when we first got it, we unwrapped it. Just this morning we unwrapped it, we took a look at it. First thing I noticed, you got that trend that's kind of happening in a lot of golf clubs nowadays with that brush matte look. You'll see that on the crown of the club. You'll also see that in the shaft. It's got a really sleek matte look. We've had a lot of club reviews we've done over the course of the past weeks and months that also seem to take on and adopt this matte look. And I really like it personally. I like it because when it's hot and sunny out, you don't get that glare. I like it because next to a golf ball, it looks really simple. It looks non-complex. It allows the focus to be off of the golf club and onto the golf ball. So I think it's a really cool, sleek look. Another thing we noticed is that when unveiling it, is that this was shorter than just about any hybrid that I've ever used. And upon doing some research, diving in a little bit more into the technology of the club, it's designed this way for a purpose. Now I'll dive a little bit deeper into some of the specifics later on in this video, but the main idea behind a shorter hybrid is getting you as the golfer to adopt to swinging this club as though it's a shorter iron. They know a lot of guys that use hybrids, a lot of players that use hybrids use them because they struggle with using irons. Now, they may use the same swing that they would with an iron with a hybrid, and so by making it a little bit shorter and allowing the golfer to stand a little bit closer to the ball, that impact, that downward strike on a golf ball is going to be a lot easier to make when the club is a little shorter. So the length of this golf club really plays into a lot of the design features that are played out in the head and in the shaft. Now I'm going to dive in for a second into the key design feature in this golf club, and it's these Machete Rails. Now I've seen this before in other golf clubs, maybe you guys have too. About 15 to 20 years ago, there was a club released by La Jolla called the Knife. I do remember one of my friends growing up actually used one of these 3-woods. It had a big like shark fin looking thing coming out of the bottom with two kind of ancillary little rails on it. And the whole concept was to be able to move through the rough, dig through the turf with a lot less friction. And I've noticed that the iRT-5 Hybrid has really adopted that thinking. Now they've done that for a couple of different reasons. The main reason is kind of what I just talked about. It's that friction at impact. Now, when a lot of golfers are hitting golf shots, naturally there's going to be friction between the sole of the golf club, the bottom, and the turf. And if we're chunking it, if whatever we're doing to not maintain solid contact, a lot of that has to do with the way that the sole of the golf club is interacting with the turf. With these Machete Rails, it's designed to totally alleviate that friction. These are designed to slice through impact, creating more speed for a golfer and getting more performance out of their shots with a hybrid. So we actually hit a couple of shots to kind of see if we're hitting this like a hybrid, if we're hitting this like an iron, what types of results are we seeing? And it was actually pretty surprising. The club felt phenomenal, and the way that the rails moved through impact, you could really notice that it was a stabilizing force. It really stabilized that face through impact, which, as all golfers can attest to, a stable club at impact is going to produce good golf shots. So I will say the design itself stands on its own. It makes sense, and it performs, and it performed for us today when we were hitting with it. One of the big sells of these Machete Rails is that it actually helps golfers improve who struggle with the slice. Now, here at US Golf TV, we've talked a lot about the slice. We've talked a lot about how to hit high draws. This is a club that's actually designed a little bit to help golfers not slice the ball so much. And if you look at the rails, we kind of moved in here a little bit tighter. You'll see that the rails on the toe are actually a little bit more pronounced than the ones on the heel. And I think, again, that's designed for the way that a golfer who's a slicer comes through impact. It helps stabilize that club face, allows there to reduce friction in areas where it may actually hinder of the performance of the golf shot. So all told, these 5 rails, these Machete Rails, they perform and they feel great. What they're saying on the Golf Channel commercials is actually has a lot of merit. Now another thing that I want to talk about here when referring to these Machete Rails, and we talk about this a lot at US Golf TV, it's versatility. Now, being able to have a golf club that's versatile is something that I feel and we feel is very important, because you're not going to be given the same lie for every shot. You're not going to be given the same situation, and you need a golf club that's going to perform from various lies, and that's exactly what this club is designed to do. We went ahead and took some shots out of some thick rough. We hit some shots out of the fairway. We put ourselves in some really crummy positions, dirt. We tried to simulate maybe what a sand shot would feel like, and this club actually performed in all of those areas. Now, versatility is something that you can use as a golfer to really help you no matter where you are on the golf course, and we felt that this club stood up. So in regards to utilizing it from all the way from thick hay and fescue all the way down to, you know, a tight lie in the fairway or a muddy lie, the iRT-5 hybrid is designed to perform. Now, I talked about this a little bit earlier in the video, and I talked about the shorter length of this club, and it actually plays a lot into the way that the club is meant to set up. So a lot of hybrids, you guys will notice, 2 and 3 hybrids actually have a lot less loft than the iRT-5 hybrid. This actually has 24 degrees of loft. And a shorter golf club with more loft allows the golfer, by design, to stand closer to the ball and use a lot more of a simple setup. So this club is actually designed to be set up as though you're hitting a long iron, as though you're hitting a 5 iron, a 4 iron, a 3 iron, to where you are actually hitting the club, hitting down on the golf ball, and taking a lot more of that simple iron swing. Now, one thing I want to talk about in regards to the technology of the club is that it's designed with a really low center of gravity. Now, what a low center of gravity does is it pulls the weight down, and one of the main things it does is reduces spin. Now, when we're hitting approach shots and we're hitting a lot of these like targeted shots, we don't necessarily want to reduce our spin a ton, but one of the key elements to the iRT-5 hybrid is helping golfers reduce their slice. Now, I talked a little bit about the rail design helping to do that. This low center of gravity is also going to help do that, because when you see reduced spin and you're spinning the ball less, that's actually going to be reducing your side spin as well. Now, we know side spin is not actually a true thing. Every golf shot has backspin, but what it's going to do is it's going to reduce the amount of spin. So even if that spin axis is still tilted, it's not spinning at the same rate, which will, for a lot of golfers, reduce that slice, reduce that big fade that they hit, and hit a lot straighter shots. And that lower center of gravity is something that really helps golfers do that. And so one other factor to the design, along with the low center of gravity, is the heavier club head. Now, we noticed this when we pulled it out. We actually wrote a review on our website about this. A lot of the marketing was talking about a heavier club head. And we noticed that right away when taking it out, that the club head feels a lot heavier. There's a lot more weight pushed down on this golf club. And what I noticed that did for me was, we talked earlier about stability. It really helps provide that stable base head impact. Think about it this way. If you have a flimsy or thin piece of paper compared to a thick piece of cardstock, what's going to be easier to bend? What's going to be more malleable? Obviously, it's the thinner one, right? Obviously, it's the lighter one. Now, the same is true at impact with a golf shot. The heavier the golf club is, the more stable that's going to be able to perform. Now, a lot of golf clubs have gone more towards lighter, because lighter means faster, and faster means more distance. But when you're working with an iRT-5 hybrid like this, you're not really looking to optimize your distance. In fact, a lot of your distance is going to be optimized just by making good contact with the golf ball. And having a heavier, more stable impact position is going to allow you to make better contact, and in turn, actually still hit the golf ball further, even though you may not be getting the speed that you may be getting with a lighter, more fast hybrid head shaft combination. But we totally noticed, hitting this out of various lies, that the heavier club head was very noticeable and beneficial to a lot of golfers. So if you guys are looking for more information about the iRT-5 hybrid, we have a full review posted in both the comments and in the meta description. We encourage you to take a look at those, and there's actually a lot of content put out by their team that help describe the technology, that help explain exactly what the design process was into designing this club, that can help you guys make any further decisions you need. So before you guys go, we hope you enjoyed the video. We'd encourage you, if you did, to click, first of all, click like down below. If you enjoyed what we had, We also want to hear your thoughts below in the comments. So if you guys have any questions, if you guys have thoughts about this club, if you guys have opinions you want to share, we'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments. So we'll be sure to engage with you guys and respond to everything you guys have. Also, before you go, please click this button. We'd love for you guys to subscribe to our channel. We're releasing golf instruction content regularly, and it's designed to help you guys improve your golf game. So before you guys take off, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Plays into some of the features. I didn't really know where my sentence ended though, so I don't really know if you can use it. Enough with the trying to hit a divot. Can you use that? Okay.